Hey everyone, today I'm joined by Macgill Davis. Macgill is the co-founder of Rize, an automated time tracking platform built specifically for agency teams. Previously worked at Twitter and now helps agencies eliminate the pain of manual time tracking with AI-powered automation and deep productivity insights. Rize is already transforming how agencies lead gen is the hardest part of running an agency. For most, it's unpredictable, it's slow, and it's usually expensive. Gia flips that. It's the all-in-one growth platform that turns your existing relationships and client work into a steady pipeline. Gia automates lead gen, follow-up, and content, and it's all from the work you're already doing. You can check it out and get some free bonuses at getgia.ai/dynamic agency. And now, Macgill Davis. It's easier than ever to start an agency, but it's only getting harder to stand out and keep it alive. Join me as we explore the strategies agencies are using today to secure a better tomorrow. This is Agency Forward. Why do you think time tracking is important for agencies?
That's a great question. And a lot of people don't time track, and we can get into that. But basically, I would say time tracking is how you understand exactly how you're utilizing your resources. It's probably one of the most important things to do. I would say, argue not just for agencies, but for all companies, and really for everyone out there. It's really important to understand where you're spending your time, because that's where your effort is going and where you're going to see returns, if any, and if it's the right things or the wrong things. Mm-hmm. And I think it's particularly important for agencies if you're billing clients, right? You really need to understand, first off, am I spending time on the right clients? Am I even profitable on these clients? Are they priced right? Without that information, that's just table stakes, I'd say. That's how you run your company well. But if you do it well, there's all these additional benefits. Like, you can really understand how's the team utilizing their time? Who's available for this project? Maybe I should change things up. Basically it's your view into how your company is running.
Right. Yeah. I think every person, not even just business owner, every person at some point has finished a day and they're like, man, where did that day go? Where did all that time go? It's imagine how much more you could have got done if you were just aware of where that time was. Totally. But with agencies, it's your inventory are your hours. That is what you're selling. Even if you package your offer differently, it's what you're limited by. I think the argument that a lot of agencies make is that they feel like they're micromanaging. And I've heard a lot of responses to that, with one agency owner just saying I'm micromanaging because this is our inventory. I want to make sure we're not having theft within the company.
Totally.
Right. The same way someone taking a box of donuts off the shelf at the grocery store, right, to eat in the break room is charging your company something. But I guess what's the with I guess if most people are considering using Rize, they're already considering time tracking. With that, is there an adoption issue that you see within the platform of people just getting their team to actually use it because they're either not used to tracking time or they don't believe in it? Are there certain concerns that are coming up?
So I think at an agency, you really need to track your time, mostly for yourself, but also for clients, understand billing. And even if you work on retainer, that's important. So what we see is if you're a smaller agency, let's say, maybe you can get an idea of how things are running without time tracking. Just because you have sort of the pulse, even though I would argue on a bias that every even individuals should use time tracking. But with smaller agencies, those are the only agencies that aren't time tracking necessarily when they come to Rize. Once you reach a certain threshold of users, team members, let's say 10, 15, that's when you start feeling the pressure of okay, there's so much going on. We have so many clients, we have so many team members, so many projects. We don't understand how we're utilizing things. And then basically any agencies above that size, they're already using they already have some sort of time tracking in place when they come to Rize. So for the smaller agencies, what we see is normally like, we know we should time track, but like, it's just so terrible to do it. And like, it's because most options out there are either manual or they're not great experiences. And Rize, we're all automated. We use a bunch of cool AI features to automatically tag your time. So our goal is really to kill off manual time tracking and timesheets. And so, with the smaller agencies, they've generally been like, we know we should do it. It's just too much work. And then with the larger agencies that we onboard, they're like, it's usually, we do time tracking, we have to, but everyone absolutely hates it. And like either the project leads or the CEO, depending on the size of the agency, are chasing people down constantly because manual time tracking absolutely sucks. People either forget to put their hours in, or they're not manually starting and stopping timers. They leave a timer running, so it's like, Jim worked 48 hours for the last 2 days without stopping. But actually just left the timer running. And then basically what happens is at the end of the week, it's on these project leads or CEOs to like chase down everyone and remind them and be annoying basically to try and get the time track data, which is really necessary for them to run the business. And so, that's, it's just that in both cases, manual time tracking absolutely sucks. We all probably know. And Rize helps get rid of that pain point.
Yeah, so when I was running an agency, it was, so like I understood the importance of time tracking. There was no real issue with it. I did think back to my Army days, and I was like, man, if we track time in the Army, we would realize how much we're mismanaging the taxpayers' dollars. But even there, like I would have times where it's like, I just can't, I'm going from meeting to meeting. I don't have time to stop and track my time for where it's going. And so I'd start penciling things in, and then I'd have to go at the end of the day or end of the week, add everything. And at some point our financial, like head of finances would reach out to me being like, hey, so you put 48 hours on this one task on Tuesday. And I'm like, no, I'm at 48 minutes. And it's like, God, like the fact that we have to go through and like change, all these different things. It's like, it is a pain.
And if we add up the time on admin spent on manual time tracking, if we time tracked that, it would be like, honestly, probably hours per user just trying to understand the time per week.
It pays for the use of a good platform to automate it. Look at that, people. Like you just got your incentive right there. Let's talk billable versus non-billable hours. And just because I have had some clients even say, I should only be tracking billable hours because that's what the client cares about. And it's like, but then you're still not tracking everything you could get for output and actual like true capacity with team members. How do you kind of manage that, or whether it's managing expectations or the actual like tracking of everything?
I mean, I think it's so important to have that whole picture, because again, you're not understanding then how you're utilizing your time. Because if you're working on a client, even if it's non-billable hours, right, that's time you're allocating to that client, right? So those are essentially free hours that client is getting, right? Or if you're working on non-billable hours, that's just admin work. Like that's super important to know too, because that's a huge opportunity to like improve efficiency at your agency. Are you spending enough time on the right things, right? Mm-hmm. And so, basically, tracking specifically for client hours is really important. It's actually funny, when we first started building in a lot of the automatic time tracking for clients and teams, we actually just focused on client time. That's what we thought. And then like all the feedback we were getting from our users, was basically, this is not the whole picture. And like we really need to include both billable time and also just general time tracked towards the team, to the agency, to really understand like what's the whole picture here. But I would say like the billable hours are always nice to track, and like we focus on that that's a big part of Rize, because we also make it really nice. You can export your all like your data in Rize into this beautiful PDF that looks really cool. It's got black background and colors and stuff, and the detailed descriptions that are generated by AI, and are like, I would say that is what a lot of our agencies love, because and like especially small or even individual freelancers, because it makes you look so good when you send that to a client. Because it's like, wow, they are super on top of their time. Like, look at this detailed, really beautiful, like exported PDF. It gives off the impression to the client that you're, a serious agency. Yeah, exactly. That you care. And then also that you're not just making up numbers, right? I mean, we've all worked with like lawyers or agencies or something, and you get the bill and you're like, it's like, I wonder what's in here. Like, I see the time total, the amount, but I like, what? Yeah, I really wonder
20 minutes to pick up the phone. And then
exactly.
10 for the phone call.
Yep.
Yeah, I think even just from a planning perspective, like I've had to go through this with some clients where it's like if I bring on a new team member, it gives us 40 hours of work for clients. And it's like, not really, because you also have like 1 hour every Monday, you're doing a meeting, right, with your entire team. So we're down to 39 just from that. Your team is actually having a 30-minute meeting for a lot of their bigger accounts here on top of this.
Yes.
And so it's like, when we start stacking all those, like you might only have like potential, 32 hours. So you're getting 4 work days from that team member, and you're not going to see it unless you're actually tracking all of these things.
Totally.
I want to get into the actual like automation side of Rize. So I think that is one of like the differentiators. Can you just give me like a once over so we can go deeper?
Yeah. I mean, so like when Rize is an automated time tracker for macOS and Windows. So what we do is we really granularly track your activity on the computer. And then we basically feed that into an algorithm that's processed on our end. And then we basically generate, a bunch of really cool data. So like we'll generate some productivity insights, which are cool. But the main thing is we'll also pull out when you were working on, what you were working on. And we'll essentially generate these like draft versions of what you think you were doing. We'll create suggestions for clients, projects, and tasks that you have either in the app or that you've integrated with, so that at the end of the day, your entire day is visible, tracked automatically annotated, and automatically tagged with client and project work. And all that you have to do is go through and approve all these suggestions essentially. And that works great for teams because, you'll have your entire day already laid out. You'll never have to track anything. You'll never have to remember anything. And the AI is getting so good that most of the time, like a lot of the time, that it's already fully categorized and tagged. We generate descriptions on what you worked on, automatically split up the chunks. So it's really cool. I mean, and basically from there, it just takes out like from what would have been this horrible process of things to think about. It kind of removes all that pain, and it's really on you to just sort of approve things. It probably takes less than a minute at the end of the day. And it's great because then you have the approvals on you. So your track data and all your team members' track data, it remains completely private to them and yourself. It's just you choose what you tag and share with the team. So it's like that nice balance of being fully automated, but also super privacy first. Like this is not an employee monitoring tool by any means. And yeah, it reminds me a lot. I would equate it a lot to taking meeting notes. Like everyone now uses one of these note takers in these meetings. Like it's as many people as note takers these days, because it's just a better experience. You don't have to think about taking notes. You automatically get it. You automatically get the recordings. I think that's what we've done with time tracking is you just open it, you let it run, it does its thing, you work, which you should be doing, focus on that, and then you get all your fully tracked and tagged day at time at the end of the day.
Right. And yeah. So at the end of the day, I'll be able to differentiate from when I was using ChatGPT for like client work versus looking up recipes to like, impress my wife.
Exactly. Oh yeah. And so we'll do that for you. Actually, we'll pull that out and you can just review that. We'll be able to, it's pretty cool because based on that, the activity, we can basically spot and segment different tasks and the things you're working on. And then you get these great readable descriptions like did a code review and, a nice little write-up or, was on Airbnb searching for this. And you're like, okay, well, that's not working.
Yeah. Don't look at that. Right.
Yeah.
I was on Indeed looking for a new job.
Okay. Yeah, exactly.
And then I guess within this automation stuff, can it also narrow down like the client that we're doing this type of work for, so that we can, like one of the things we looked at was like per client and project, how much were we actually billing for various tasks?
Yep.
I guess how granular do you get?
Very granular. So like, first off, we track down to 15, as small as 15 seconds, right? And then from there, we, condense those into like chunks of activity. They almost look like calendar events in Rize, but the data is super granular. So what we do is we'll splice that up on our end using our code and our algorithms. And essentially within Rize, you can have clients, projects, and tasks. So we integrate with Zapier. So a lot of people pull in clients from, whatever platform they're using, like you name it, basically, like a Linear, ClickUp, whatever. We also directly integrate with ClickUp and Linear, so you can pull in those tasks. And then basically the Rize AI has access to all of those projects, clients, and tasks within Rize. So it will automatically recommend what we call like task, client, or project suggestions to all of your data. Mm-hmm. And additionally, you can even set up rules in Rize. So you can be like, if I'm on this URL, I'm working on this client. And that helps the Rize AI know and associate those things. You don't have to do that. It's actually pretty good even without that. But you can, if you want to get in and customize and get it even more advanced, you can do it that way. And then it will automatically tag time towards those client projects and tasks, which is really cool.
Yeah. And just going back to the admin time, right? Like I spend a significant amount of time just being like, okay, where did I spend all my time today?
Yes.
So the ability to go through that and not have to deal with it, like just on its own, is crazy valuable for agencies.
Yeah. And like ClickUp is we have a lot of users who come in from ClickUp because ClickUp's so common in the agency space. Yeah. And there's time tracking in ClickUp, but it's manual. Mm-hmm. You have to start and stop the timer. So Rize works super well with that because you integrate Rize with ClickUp. Everyone on your team can use Rize. They'll have their ClickUp tasks listed in Rize. And then when Rize AI auto tags time to a task, once it's approved and linked to a ClickUp task, it will get posted back to ClickUp into the timesheets there. So you have like this two-way sync between Rize and ClickUp. So you can still use ClickUp for all your tasks. When you generate a task, it syncs to Rize, tag time in Rize, syncs back to ClickUp, and it works really well. We also do that for Linear, which is another task tracker, and we'll be adding a bunch more too. But we have Zapier. So basically with Zapier and a direct API, you can pretty much connect any of your existing platforms.
Yeah. So I think this is just a demo of your product is what teams need in order to to not have resentment around time tracking. Where it's like, you say time tracking, right? People just cringe a little, and not people, most agency owners will be like, yeah, we need it. Like most team members are like, I had a developer who hated it so much that he tied all of his time tracking to a Stream Deck. So he could just push buttons on his Stream Deck and it would do whatever he needed in ClickUp. Yeah. It's like, but we can't all code like that.
Exactly.
But so I guess, do you, and maybe this is as simple as like giving people a trial of Rize, but how do you get the team to see oh, hey, this is actually easy in order to promote adoption of time tracking across the agency? Because I know every agency owner is thinking through that, right? Like, how do I get my team to want this? But the way you've just explained this is like the reason they should want this.
Yeah. But honestly, we don't have too much pushback there because I have yet to meet someone that's like, oh, we figured out time tracking. It's working great. We have no complaints, We don't we love it. I love vlogging. I love vlogging my time, and so we don't really have pushback there. The one area where team members, where you get questions from team members is is this an employee monitoring tool? And Rize is 100% not an employee monitoring tool. We're just not interested in going down that path. There are a bunch of products out there that monitor employees' behavior, that take screenshots. But we never do that. We never take screenshots. We actually never even track the content of the window. It's just metadata of the window. So and we only share things with the team that you've approved them already. So that was one of the biggest, I would say, product challenges is finding that balance of automation and also we don't want to share everything that you're working on immediately. But I think we've been able to figure that out, and generally team members are really happy. It saves. it saves them a ton of time, a ton of hassle. I mean, so yeah.
So I guess what are you seeing as far as like improvements across teams so far with just like switching to Rize, having the automation, so they don't need to focus on that? Is it just that they're getting a time benefit, or because they're not thinking about this, their owners are reporting back like other positive things?
I mean, I think the base and immediate response is like people don't have to worry about it. People get a ton of time back every day, like 2 to 3 hours probably at least per week. And then the CEO or product managers, they get 2-3 hours and a lot of stress of chasing people down. That's sort of like, I would say, what everybody gets right away is save time and improve efficiency. I think what's cool, and these are areas that we're actually working on building more features in, it's kind of exciting, is how do you take that to the next step? So like now we have accurate time tracking data that is basically, immediate, right? Within the last day or hours at least. So how, as an agency owner, can you look at that and better run your team? Like a big thing is, okay, wow, I was spending time on the wrong clients. Like I was spending 60% of my time on a client that pays me 1% of this other client when we really need to mix it up. Or, I had our most senior, most expensive developer working on this, like these menial tasks when we really should have like the young intern working on those, like really, because like then you understand your resources. How can you better resource them? The other thing is utilization. It's like client comes in, who has time? Who's not working on a project right now? Or what you can see, okay, well, Jane, she's 80% working on client A, but we know that client A's project is going to end soon. So this would be perfect, right? So then you get much better utilization of, okay, getting people on the right projects, right? I think the other thing too, and this is more on the productivity sense, like, and managers understand like when it's time to like basically people are being overworked, like that's definitely been another one where it's like, all right, these people are working way too much. We need to make sure that we actually scale it back. And that's super common at agencies where there's always that one, product manager, designer, whatever, a few that are just like on every project and putting in so many hours. And it's hard to see that otherwise. They'll burn out and they'll leave the team if you don't,
Right. Someone had mentioned this at some conference I was at, where it's like if the data is bad, the team stops going to look at that data, right? They know. And so it happens a lot with like CRMs, where I know if the sales team isn't updating the CRM, I'm not going to go there to look at what's happening. And then everyone stops using the tool. And so with time tracking, it's like they're going to time track regardless. But as soon as an agency owner or like the head of ops, like whoever's managing this stuff knows the data isn't great, they're going to stop using it in all of their decisions. But the reason you're putting off a lot of decisions is because you don't have the data right now, right? It's not because we just need another week to feel this one out. It's like, no, if you had all the information right now, you could make a decision, but the data is bad. And so you can't actually decide. And so I like that this is now a tool that you can use that way. It's like, I have the data at my fingertips to be able to make actual decisions for the company. One of the things so can you, I'm assuming you can also do like kind of trend reporting for like a team member. So if I know for this type of task, my designer usually takes this long, but they've been overworked lately. And now we're actually seeing like it's instead of 4 hours, taking them 6 hours to complete this. But that could also just mean there's some variable within this project that is causing this friction. And so like if you can catch that by seeing this trend changing, it's like now we can actually get this information from the client earlier, or we can not promise these things. And so like you just become more efficient over time.
Totally.
Yeah. It's great. I don't know. There was no question there. It was just like, these are all the positive things I'm seeing.
It's definitely.
Yeah. So I guess if you, oh man, this is all like, time tracking is such a, I don't want to say controversial because it's like, it's really not controversial. Like I feel like, it's like saying air is bad, right? It's like, like no, it's not. Nobody's debating that. Like we know we need time tracking. But there is this like stigma, I guess, around it. And so like to be able to say, hey, look, there's potentially a better way to just handle this. I think will empower a lot more agency owners to just get their team moving in the right direction. And especially when you moving forward, like it's harder and getting harder and harder to differentiate your agency. And so to be able to collect whatever information you have to find your edge, I think like grounded in your data, I think is going to be a huge thing that a lot of agencies could benefit from. But I guess along with time tracking, like what else would you recommend agencies be doing? Like either like in addition to the time tracking or just to replace some of these like outdated processes, right? Like like you're doing with timesheets. What are some of those things you would recommend?
I mean, I think this is on top of mind again for agencies and a lot of companies. I know we're thinking about it. It's like, we are in the midst of a massive change of how people work with the AI tools. I don't think it's actually going to eliminate many jobs. It's just going to change jobs. Like, I think it's hard to say exactly how it's going to roll out, but like things are changing and they're changing quickly. The whole way that teams work and that individuals work, I think is going to change where, I think you're seeing that where it used to be you were an individual who just worked on one task. Now it's kind of like you are an individual who's running an army of agents. So almost every team member is becoming like a manager in some ways. And so that's a massive shift, right? And so because of managing means you're dealing with context switching, you're dealing with a lot of like multiple processes, even as an IC, let's say individual contributor, right? And so I think we're still very much in the middle of this. I think it's as big as the internet, right? And so I don't know how that's going to shake out, but I think first thing is being obviously data informed. Like you want to understand. That's my Rize plug, I guess. But I think also being really open to trying new things, like trying a lot of these new tools, trying new processes, seeing what works, really trusting in autonomy, right? So that people can make these decisions and like individuals can go out and try and figure out what works for them. Because I think it's just like the internet. When we have this massive shift, you have people and agencies who adapt. And they're going to be twice as successful, right? Or 10 times more successful. And once you fail to adapt, you then, fall behind. And so I kind of think while we're in this middle period, it's about being super agile, super flexible and kind of really quickly reactive, like trying new things, changing things that don't work, changing. I think that's going to be really important because it's like, you're seeing it in agencies across the board. I mean, a great example is like, if you have a design agency that using AI tools can service 3 times more clients, they have more capital, they have more time, their team members are better trained on the tools, so they each get that output, and that just compounds, right? And then suddenly you have a whole new set of winners in the space. So,
awesome.
Those are the ones,
All right, so I got 2 more questions for you. With the first one, what book do you recommend every agency owner should read?
All right. So this one, I think this is a little bit of maybe a different direction than what we're talking about, but I think it's really important. Right. It's called The Culture Map by Aaron Myers. So The Culture Map is this book that I read when I worked at Twitter a few years ago. It was like one of the books that that was recommended for the whole company. And it was really fascinating because it was written by this woman, Erin Myers. She's American, living in France, at Paris, I think. And it basically breaks down how people and cultures communicate and work differently across the board. And how what's polite in one culture, what's good communication in another culture is the complete opposite in another culture. Like they can both be trying polite and they're both extremely offending each other. And it was fascinating for me because we read it because I'd say the world is becoming so international. Agencies are like at the forefront of that, I'd say. I mean, if any companies that are more likely to have people all over, it's agencies. Clients all over, it's agencies. And so I think it dramatically change the way that I see and communicate with people. Especially because it's a global world, global economy. And so I think that a lot of us, I used to think like there's one way to be a good communicator, right? But that's because I have this American culture, and in American culture, there is one way. But globally, that's really not the case. And so it's a great book. It's super readable. I mean, and it really, really helped me, especially working with, international clients, international teams, and even with like international family members and friends. It was really, 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 really interesting. So yeah, highly recommend that.
Yeah, I actually want to follow this one for a second now because I just finished interviewing Jack Porter Smith, who's he was an agency owner out in the UK, and we started talking about like company culture, and kind of realized through this conversation the culture that you set within your organization is also one of those, like, it's a competitive advantage in a lot of ways. It is like, because how you show up is going to attract the right talent. It's going to attract the clients you want to work with. And so even understanding how cultures work and how they think differently is like, well, what type of culture would I want to build here? Because as we move into a state of, like techno parity, where some competitor can come in and try copying some of your technology like the next week, and they can do your process and have your model say the same things. The thing that will have you actually stand out is your culture. And so if you can craft your point of view around that, your perspective, and put that up to the world, I think you've got a complete edge. It's awesome.
It's funny. That was that just brings to mind like one other aspect I was thinking about when you mentioned like what should be on top of mind of agencies as well. That was another thing that I think is going to be really important is exactly this, like your personal relationships, I think, and the way that you deal with customers, and like obviously the work output is still the most important, but that's going to be, I think, increasingly valuable, right? In a world where you have a lot of AI tools that can do a lot of different stuff, and that is culture as well, right? That's exactly that. Like the culture it's really, really important as well. Yeah. So completely agree.
Awesome. All right. Yeah. Last question is, where can people find you?
It's Rize, RIZE.io. So it's not the correct spelling, but the best spelling. That's what we say. And my name's Macgill. You can find me on Twitter or LinkedIn, or at basically Macgill, MACGILL at RIZE.io. We are looking for more agencies to onboard into Rize. We're getting more every day, and if you have questions or you want to chat, super open to it. So give me a shout.
Awesome, Macgill. Thanks for joining.
Yeah, Chris, thank you so much. I'm really, really, really grateful to be here.
That's the show, everyone. You can leave a rating and review, or you can do something that benefits you. Click the link in the show notes to subscribe to Agency Forward on Substack. You'll get weekly content, resources, and links from around the internet to help you drive your agency forward.